In this video, we're going to take a look at converting between degrees and radians. In the Unit 9 review packet, question 7, we have to convert some degrees into radian form, and we're going to do it without using decimals. Let's go ahead and see how we can convert that. To start, we're going to need to take this 45 degrees, and we're going to create radian form. So we're going to do that by multiplying everything by one fraction. And the fraction we're going to use is pi over 180. Now we're going to use the same fraction when we convert from degree to radian form, except, when we convert from radians to degrees, except when we go to degrees, we want to take the fraction and flip it upside down so the degrees are on top. But since we're making radians, we're going to put the pi on top because pi represents our radians. So to start this guy, we can multiply this by pi over 180. All we have to do to finish this guy up is just simplify and try to find the GCF between 45 and 180 degrees, and the GCF is actually the number 45. So 45 goes into itself once, and 45 goes into 180 4 times. So the numerator just becomes 1 times pi, and the denominator is just the number 4. Your calculator can also help simplify that for you. Let's do the same thing with 120. We'll multiply it by pi over 180. Now our GCF is going to be the number 60. 60 goes into 120 2 times, so that'll be 2 times pi. And 60 goes into 180 3 times, so 2 pi over 3. Let's take a look at 215. We're going to multiply it by pi over 180. 215 and pi don't have anything very pretty in common. Let's see, 215. Looks like they have 5 in common. 5 is the biggest thing that goes into both of them. And again, your calculator can simplify this for you. But if you do 215 divided by 5, you're going to end up with 43 pi. And in the denominator, 180 divided by 5 is 36. There we go. Let's do the next one. Up next, 75. We're going to multiply it by pi over 180. So 75 and 180 have, let's see, they have 15 in common. 75 divided by 15 is 5, so this will be, let me use a different color here. It'll be 5 pi. And 180 divided by 5 is, or 180 divided by 15 is going to give me 12. And again, typing these into your calculator using n over d will simplify these fractions for you. All right. Up next, we're going to have the number 720. We're going to multiply that by pi over 180. This time, the GCF is actually 180 itself. 180 goes into both things. So 180 goes into 72 4 times. So 720 is 4 times the size. So it's going to just be 4 on top and nothing on bottom. So 4 pi is our answer. And last but not least, here's another gross one. Pi over 180. 54 and 180 do not have much in common except for the fact that they are both even numbers. They're both divisible by 2. So if I divide 54 by 2, I get 77. And if I divide 180 by 2, I get 90. So 77 pi over 190. And that's as simplified as that one can get. Let's go ahead and take a look at converting from radians to degrees. Now this time we're going to have to use the same fraction but reverse. This time we need to multiply by 180 over pi. Notice it's the same two values, but 180 measures degrees, pi measures radians, and we want to create degrees. So we're going to put the degree measurement on top, 180 degrees. So let's take this and multiply it by 180 over pi. The first thing that will happen is that the pi's will cancel, which means all I have to do is do 180 divided by 4, which gives me 45 for my degrees. Let's try that with this guy. We're going to multiply it by 180 over pi. Again, my pi's will cancel, so now all we have to do is 180 divided by 6, which is 30 degrees. It says over here, round to the third decimal place when necessary. None of these will actually have to be rounded. They all work out pretty nicely. Up next, we'll multiply this guy by 180 over pi. This time, 2 operations have to happen. 180 has to be divided by 3. I would go ahead and do that first. That would give me 60. 180 divided by 3 is 60. These pi's cancel, so all I have to do is 4 times 60, which gives me the measurement 240. 3 pi, we're going to go ahead and multiply that by 180 over pi. Again, my pi's will cancel, so all I have to do is 180 times 3, which is 540. Next, we'll multiply by 180 over pi. My pi's will cancel. We can do 180 divided by 12, which is going to be 15. So both of these can be reduced. This will be the number 15, and then times 5, which gives me 75. And last but not least, if I multiply this by 180 divided by pi, again, my pi's will cancel. 180 divided by 6 gives me 30, and if I multiply that by 7, I get 210. And that is it for converting back and forth. Coming up next in the next video, we will look at using the unit circle.